Hi everyone and welcome back to the Neo Nails channel. I'm Steffi Fernandez and today we are continuing our Disney series with a character that no one talks about. Yeah, you've guessed it, we're going to do Bruno. Let's get started. Right, I usually like to start my character work with, I buffed the surface of the nail already, which is a great thing because the paint adheres to it better, but I do like laying on a thin layer of some sort of a sheer color. I do that because I personally prefer working on a tacky layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply Morning Glow all over the nail. That name made me giggle. Morning Glow, just a nice thin layer, and I'm gonna go in and cure that for the full length of time. Okay, so I'm looking at Bruno's skin tone, and he's got quite a tan skin tone, but it's also quite yellowish. Now, if I use oolong tea by itself, I can't talk English today, guys. I'm sorry, it's one of those days that my mind keeps going in circles. So I'm gonna take oolong tea and dab a nice blob of it on my palette, which is obviously ruined. See the state of that, guys? Terrible. And I'll also put my mobile on silent.
Bad Steffi.
Yeah. And I'm going to take oolong tea and I'm going to obviously take another color called Primrose, which is a very faint yellowy color, which I'm going to dab on just next to that. And I'm going to mix both colors. I think those two colors together will give me Bruno's skin tone. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix those so I can get ready to start painting his face. So I'm just going to paint a long kind of ovally shape on the nail and fill it in. Now his chin is kind of pointy, but usually when I paint a character, I realize that my estimation sometimes is not super thorough, so I do end up adding more towards the end. So I draw his chin now, but I might add another chin later on. So I'm just gonna mark that up and fill it in. Right, so we've got the face ready. I'm just gonna move the product around because I feel like this area should be slightly thicker. But we might go above it anyway, so don't stress too much, guys. And with this layer, I'm gonna go ahead and cure it for the full length of time and then start our design. We've got this cured, guys. I'm gonna go ahead with Ancient Redwood. And I'm going to go ahead and just mark up where I want the eyes to go. So I'm going to start off by creating two large C-sections that are quite curved. All right, so I've got one here. And then I've got another one at the side of it. And it's okay if you break it into two sections, guys. Sometimes it's easier to work with a C-curve when you break it into two lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another C curved line just underneath the eye, but the underneath will be less curved, okay? So the curve will be less round. Right, so I've got both eyes kind of painted on, and I'm not going to go and cure that. I don't mind it mixing in with the white. So I'm going to go ahead and dip my brush into Snow White, and I'm just going to fill in the eyes. So I've got the eyes filled in. Lovely. I'm going to go in with my 3D brush. Hopefully it's kind of clean. And if it's not, it's okay. I'll do it straight away. And I'm just going to clean up a little bit here because I think it's slightly messy. My brush did slide earlier on. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the lamp just for about 10 seconds. Right, so I have discovered the best combo of color to shade any sort of pixel animation. Yes, I have, honestly, and I'm going to let you on this secret, guys. The best color combo is lychee and black sapote together. So it creates a gorgeous kind of brownie, reddy, transparent look that is, you know, perfect to shade any kind of character when it comes to Pixar or Disney or whatnot. I just love it. So I'm going to put a little bit of both on my palette and mix a tiny section and start getting that combo that I'm looking for. And I'll show you how gorgeous this color is. It's like a dark brown, but it's got a very nice pink tint to it, and it's just stunning. Get a close up on that, Drew. It's absolutely brilliant to work with, and oh, I hope this palette was in a better state, but it isn't. So we've got that gorgeous transparent brown on here. I'm gonna go back into, you know, my Bruno, and I'm going to start creating a little bit of shading around his eye. So I'm going to go ahead and paint a few curved lines, just like so. So you can see it's a very faint brown. It's great to create, like, you know, what you call them?
Is it wrinkles?
That's right. That's the word I was looking for. Wrinkles. Great for wrinkles. So I'm going to create that line over here. And I'm gonna add a little bit more color on the top. It does look slightly weird, guys, but it's a process. So we've got that, and I'm gonna go and do the same on the other side.
It looks pretty scary, just like that.
It really does. Wait till the end. Promise you look a little bit more inviting. So I've got that. I'm going to go into black sapote now and just darken some of the sections at the top here on that wet color. And I do like to use my 3D brush and kind of slightly blend those lines so it's not too harsh. So I've got that ready. And now I'm going to go in with that same mixture. And I'm going to take my 3D brush, just dip it into that, and start shading slightly the sides of his face, the cheek area, just like that. So we are slowly building him up. Doesn't matter if you just whack it on. And then we're going to start pulling it towards the midsection. All right, so we've got that. And I'm going to go into, again, without curing, to black sapote. Pick up some of that color on my brush, and then I'm going to just start marking out his eyebrows, which, by the way, are gorgeous. He has better eyebrows than me. So I'm just going to start off by doing small strokes, just like makeup, you know, mapping out those eyebrows. So small strokes, just like so. And then I'm going to join them up slightly. Now it's okay if this is not perfect because this is like the first layer that I'm doing for his eyebrows, is just to have that little shade underneath. And then we're going to go ahead and put some more black, proper black on it once we are happy with the placement of this shadow. So I've got both eyebrows on, which I'm super happy with. Right, so we've got that sorted. Just gonna blend slightly, and I'm gonna pop this into the lamp. Right, so I've got it flash cured over here. I'm gonna go back into that black Sapote. It's a color that I really love using when I do character work because I mark up first and then I kind of maybe add some more color if I need to. What I'm gonna do now is gently outline those eyes because the top of his eyes is darker. I'm going to do the same on the other one. And now he's got like tiny eyelashes. So I'm just going to I'm not even going to pull them too much. I'm just going to kind of place the brush here on top. If you can see, so I'm kind of adding dots rather than eyelashes because again, he's a male and the eyelashes don't really stand out as much as female characters, if it makes sense. I'm going to go into that black Sapote again and just do a very faint line at the bottom, but it's not going to be super harsh, just to give the eye a border, if it makes sense. And I'm just doing like a thick line at the bottom and then fading it out. All right, now I'm gonna go into a dotting tool and I'm gonna pick up some of that gorgeous mixture that we made earlier, you know, that brownish pinky one. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna dip the larger end and then mark up a couple of dots in the middle for Bruno's eyes. And now he will look a lot more scarier. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So we've got two large eyes and I want them to be in the center. Now we cannot do much with these eyes yet because I need to cure them before I add some more detail in, but we can go ahead and start kind of mapping out where we want that nose to go. So I'm just cleaning my brush a little bit and I'm going to go into that color again, that mixture that we created earlier, and I'm just going to map out the shape of his nose, which is super wide, guys, even bigger than mine. And then I'm going to go ahead and kind of, I think it's even bigger. Jeez. And I'm gonna go in with my 3D brush and just get some of that color in. So we kind of don't have a harsh line. It's just a shape that I've painted on and I'm pulling the color in. So we've got that, which I'm really happy with. And now I'm going to go ahead and just mark up where I want that mouth of his to go once I manage to clean my brush. So the mouth is kind of, he's really sad here. Not really sad, but his mouth is like in a shape.
Vacant.
Yeah. So I'm going to go in and just pick up some of that mixture that we did earlier, actually. I like that color because it's great to work with and just build up on. And I'm going to just mark up his face. And then we've got the bottom lip, which is fatter. So I'm going to add a little bit more pressure here and pull it in. I'm going to fill it in black as well. But I'm just kind of mapping out where I want that mouth to go. I'm just filling this in just so I can diffuse the color a bit more. And I do think that I probably will need a little bit more of a chin, but we can work out on that later. So I'm going to go ahead and flash cure this and we'll carry on. Right, Bruno here ready. I'm going to go in with Serious Black and again that dotting tool and start adding some detail on the eye. So again, I'm going to go in with the thinner section and just create a dot at the midsection of the eye on both eyes. You're slowly getting there. Do you see, guys? Well, ish. I'm going to dip that same detailing brush onto the black and I'll start kind of outlining the previous dot that we did just to add some more detail. So I've outlined that and now I'm going to start doing the part I hate the most. No lies, every time I start doing it I get a mini heart attack. The nostrils. I'm going to go into black sapote because I want the nostrils to be quite soft and then I'll add some more darkness into it. So I'm going to go ahead, load that brush up. And I'm going to start painting a couple of dots on here. So I've got nostril number 1 kind of done. And I've got nostril number 2. Okay, so I've got 2 nostrils. I'm going to take some of the product off. And I'm going to try and just with my 3D brush soften it slightly more because I feel I might have put too much black sapote in and make it slightly more transparent so it's not as harsh. Got one here done and one here as well. Okay, lovely. I'm going to go in with my detailing brush and just go back into that ancient redwood and start kind of mapping out the nose, give it a bit more of a structure. Give it a line here. I'm going to add some of that mixed color and just add some more detail. I do feel like his nose is just getting bigger. I'm going to go in with my 3D brush and just soften it up slightly. Right, back into the lamp. Right, I'm taking this out and now I'm going to start adding a little bit more detail with Serious Black. So I'm going to go ahead and start really adding a bit more hair everywhere. That dude is hairy. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the strokes on the eyebrows that we mapped out earlier, just to make them slightly darker. I'm going to do the same on the other eyebrow. I'm now going to go ahead and add that midsection of the mouth that's super dark. So I'm going to do that with Serious Black. So I've got the mouth filled in, still going with that Serious Black. I'm going to start mapping out his little tash. So I'm going to mix black sapote and Serious Black. It'll be a bit of both, okay? And I'm just going to start by just again, small little strokes of hair. Very limited amount of pressure on here. You don't want to press it too hard, otherwise the lines will be too thick, like on this side, which I messed up slightly, but that's okay. We can just kind of try and blend that. I will need to add a little bit of a chin. I did say that earlier, didn't I? I didn't do that. So I'm gonna just leave the top half of his tash. And before we cure it, I'll add that chin on now, and then flash cure it so we continue adding some hair. So I'm going to go into that mixture that we created earlier, which was primrose and oolong tea, I believe. And I'm just going to add a slight section here at the bottom because I feel like his face is slightly longer. Then I'll just blend it without the hair. Got a little fluff here. It's okay. It'll go perfect with his beard. Right, back into the machine. Right, it's out. So I'm going to carry on with the hair. He's got a bit of a beard going on that's split into two sections. So a little bit under his lip, bottom lip. And then bring all the beard together. From roughly here. It might go in with the darker black now. Because you want it to be a border as well for the chin. So I'm just adding those strokes. It's like small tiny movements, guys. So we've got the hair on here. I think I need to add a little bit more hair. This dude is super hairy. So we've got the hair on here, which is great. I'm now going to go in and just kind of add a little bit more shading on the eye area, guys, because I feel like it needs to be slightly darker on here. Right, he's got quite a few little lines under his eye. So I'm just going to add them. Lovely. And I'm going to go in with, luckily, there's not much of the teeth that you can see. But I'm just going to add a tiny line here at the bottom. Because you can see his bottom tooth on the picture. Bottom teeth, sorry. Which is perfect. I'm just going to clean up a little bit. Right, I've got that on. What I want to do is, which I usually do with the lips, is also shade them. So I'm going to go in with black sapote. And just add a little bit of like a border to those lips. Just to get that kind of ombre effect on the lips. You know what I mean, girls, right? And now I need to add two tiny white dots in the eye, which I've not done yet. Hopefully it won't be too big, so it's just going to be one tiny dot here, yay, and one here. So I've got two small tiny dots, and I'm going to add a little bit more shading on the side, and we'll cure it and then start with the hair. That's again done with the magical mixture that I've let you all in on. Oh God. next time I'm having a day like this, Drew is gonna do the voiceover for you guys.
You don't want to see me paint.
I'll give you my hands.
Okay.
So we've got Bruno's face ready. Yay! I'm gonna cure that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the hair, which I always add last. Okay, so we've got Bruno here, cured the face. If you can see, he actually looks quite good. I was a bit worried about doing him because I needed to find like a easier way of painting him for you guys, and yeah, sometimes I overthink things. I was looking for Sirius Black, by the way, so I'm gonna go in and just add on a little bit on my palette on here, and I'm gonna start doing the hair. Now, with the hair, I actually don't mind going in with my 3D brush. There's a lot of hair here. So I'm going to go in and pick up some of that Sirius Black and just start kind of painting his curls. Does it make sense? So it doesn't matter if it's like kind of messy, because I think the hair section is the easiest section to paint. Right, so I've used the 3D brush just to map out where I want his hair to go, and I'm now happy with where the hair is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a cure, and look how messy it looks, by the way. Let me just take off my glove so you can see that it's a bit transparent as well, but we're gonna add more detail on it. So usually the best thing to do to add detail to hair is use white. Right, so I've got this hair flash cured over here. I'm gonna go in with Sirius Black now and just add with my detailing brush some really like more prominent curls, if it makes sense. I'm going to do the same on the other side, and the hair's coming together, guys. Right, a little bit more curls here and there. Mainly at the bottom I want to have like mini flicks kind of thing, if it makes sense. The hair flicks out, so I'm gonna add that. And now, while this is all wet, I'm working up a little bit more of like different colors into the hair. So I'm gonna go in with Ancient Redwood and just start adding a little bit of like highlights here and there. You might not see it that well on the camera, but all these little tones give the hair a bit more of a texture when you look at the nail. I'm gonna grab some more color on my palette because I've used it, and just start creating, as you would call them, a little bit of highlights here and there on the wet black. Don't worry if it mixes up, it's nice. So we've got that, and now I'm going to go into white, and then we're going to go in and cure that. So the white should be really, really thin lines. See how that white line just adds a little bit of, you know,
Yeah, like depth to the hair.
to the hair. That's it. Now what I will do is just take some of our top coat and just highlight the nose a little bit, because actually I don't need to highlight it. I need to highlight it, but I might not need a top coat. I might take some of that white and mix it, because I've got the color that I created earlier. I'll mix it with the skin tone that we mixed earlier, and just add a little bit of highlight on the nose. making that nose slightly, then it will help me make it look slightly bigger. So I've done that, and now I'm just gonna blend that in so it's not just a blob of what would look like foundation. So I've got this highlighted. Let me see if I need to just add any more highlights before I cure this for the last time before I put the top coat on. And I'll go from this. A little bit of highlight under the eyes. A little bit of highlight the midsection of the lips, a little bit. Top section of the lips. So we've got that done. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with my Bruno now. Just gonna add a little bit more hair. Just random strokes here and there to, you know, help with the curls and finish up Bruno nicely. Now, guys, you could add the neck on, etc. I'm gonna leave it blank for this video. Or do you think we should add the neck? What do you think?
No, I quite like the head.
Just the head,
Just the floating head, yeah.
Right, I'm gonna cure this and top coat it for you guys. And then we have Bruno done. And there you have it, guys. Bruno ready. Can't believe we got there in the end. It was a hard day for me. Couldn't speak English. I couldn't paint. But we did it. We managed. We got there. We managed to get Bruno done for you guys. Let me just show you how gorgeous he looks. I don't know if Drew can get a different angle of that as well. See how shiny he is?
Oh, yes.
His floating head.
Looks
I mean, feel free to add a neck, guys. But the way my hand was working today, a floating head will do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments below what characters of Disney you'd like to see next. And who's your favorite character in Encanto? Let me know. As usual, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next one. Take care, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next one. Let's do this again. That was so shit. God, my ass hurts.